Hey guys, Dan from JP Coins and Collectibles here. If you see anything you like or want to request a video, just send us an email at sales@jpcoins.com. And you can look for the business card in some of our other videos. Today I wanted to talk about the Liberty Head nickel. This was a nickel that they made 83 to 1913. And the front had Lady Liberty, the back had a V. You'll hear it referred to as a V nickel. You'll also hear it referred to as a racketeer nickel. Now, the reason it's called a racketeer nickel is when they came out with it in 1883, they put E pluribus unum on the bottom. Nowhere on this coin does it say cents. It also doesn't say 5, but it's got a V for 5. Shortly, just a couple months into making them, they changed the dies and they added cents to the bottom and added E pluribus unum to the top and squeezed it in there. The reason they did that was the gold coin of the time. Let's see here. The $5 gold coin was kind of similar. If you were new off the boat and an immigrant, you would look at it and assume that it was a $5 coin. So people would take these and they'd gild them in gold, and then they'd pass them off. You get off the boat, someone offers you $5 to build a barn, and then, you think that's a great deal at the time, build the barn, get your $5, head down to the market and find out, oh wait, it's 5 cents. So these happen quite a bit. In the 60s and 70s, people started gold plating them and selling them as novelties. And so there are a lot of gold plated racketeer nickels. They're always 1883. Well, that's not true. I have gotten some that have cents on the bottom that are gold plated. Obviously, there's no reason to make those because it says 5 cents right on it. So it's not a racketeer nickel. But the 1883 ones with no cents, those are fairly common with having the gold plating on them. Now, of course, back then, you're talking 1883, they didn't really have common gold plating, so they would be gilded in gold. The really interesting thing is I happen to have the only one that you can really tell was a real racketeer nickel. And it's really difficult to verify that a racketeer nickel is going to be real. There's almost no way to be able to identify it from the copies or verify that, someone in 1980 didn't just gild a nickel in gold and then try to pass it off as an original. But this walked into our shop. So this is a smashed Indian head penny from I have to look at the date on it. And this was brought in. A guy told me a story. He said my grandmother always wore this around her neck. When she was at the 1893 World's Fair, she put an Indian head cent and a $5 gold piece through the press. And the rest of her life, she always wore the $5 gold piece just in case she ended up in a bad situation and needed some money to get out of it. Well, that's not a $5 gold piece. That's a racketeer nickel. It's a V nickel. And it's stamped in time from 1893. And this fooled that family into thinking it was a gold piece all the way up till 2016. That's when we got this, was last year. Which I find just amazing because even though, it was made in 1883 or thereabouts, they're still fooling people today. It's still something that gets, people ripped off. So this one, you'll see Columbian Exposition 1893. Shop's in the Chicagoland area, so it's from the Chicago World's Fair. There's also a $50 they made for that. And then you'll see the Indian head cent there. Now, you may say, well, how do you know someone didn't just, how do you know she didn't smash it and someone just gold-plated it afterwards? Well, it's gilded in gold, and you can kind of see the silhouette there. It is 1883. You can see the silhouette of Liberty and the stars and such. And then on the back it says E pluribus unum right there instead of having cents. And when you look at it under magnification, you can see the gold stretching. The gold stretched and spiderwebbed at the points where the coin was stretched the most, especially around the letters. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it. We can take a look here. You can kind of see it, especially around the S. You can see how around the S, around the 1, there's cracking in the gold. And that's because it was gold before it was put through the press. When it was put through the press, that smashed the coin out, and that layer of gold got stretched, and it spiderwebbed all over. And you can't really see it so much on the back because it's smooth. The letters are really where the most stress was. And then, of course, she drilled it so that, you know, she could put it on a chain. This is the Indian had sent. It's an 1890. Obviously, if the smashed penny was before, or was from after 1893, it obviously wouldn't be stamped in 1893. But these two both line up with proper dates. They're both from before 1893. This is the Indian cent, 1890. And then you can see the back of it as well with the shield and everything. And they're both went through the same machine. So it was really interesting to me that, you know, Grandma wore this her entire life. She would have been, well, if she got into a bad situation and tried to use it as gold, she may have gotten into a worse situation when they found out that she ripped someone off because it wasn't gold. But the interesting thing is, even though this is not gold, solid gold, it's priceless. This is the only one in the world that has the provenance and the ability to say this was gilded in gold at least in 1893 and has been ever since. You can tell that it was gilded before that, and this piece just kind of vets it as being, you know, not something that someone somehow got a hold of the machine afterwards and did their own. She actually went to the fair and put these two through the press. And, you know, normally your 1883 without cents, I mean, G4, you're talking $7. And even in the proof 63, I mean, you're talking $300. And then the one with cents, lower grades is worth more, but higher grades is worth less. And you can see the difference. They made 5.4 million racketeer nickels. They made 16 million of the later V nickels. But I'm just astounded that this walked into our shop. You know, we have a little tiny hole in the wall shop in Sycamore, Illinois, which is fairly small. But we're close enough to Chicago that we get a ton of Chicago-related stuff, a lot of World's Fair stuff, and this is one of my treasured pieces, just because there is not another one in the world. There's not another set like this, and there's not, as far as I can tell, I have not seen a historically verified as being authentic racketeer nickel, except for this one. So yeah, it's really interesting. You know, if you want to send us an offer, feel free. It's sales@jpcoins.com. Feel free to send us videos you'd like to see. Also, you can send us comments, concerns, anything you're looking for. We can order anything. We've got three other shops in the family, so we kind of have access to a lot of stuff. But yeah, if you're interested, drop us a line. Otherwise, take a look at our other videos. We got a couple other things that are, you know, worlds only, this or that. We've had some cool stuff walk in, and we'll have more for you as soon as something else walks through the door. Thanks a bunch, guys. Bye.